this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah. Check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect. But I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
No, you have somebody to kill about, but no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying?
No. Probably not a great husband, but
right now everything's going on. Nobody wants to talk about it. I don't want to be
Why
a
does
sacrificial
nobody
lamb.
want to talk about it?
I don't know.
Are people afraid of Diddy's influence? Is that what this is?
I think I'm watching, bro. I'm like, Charlamagne, tell the truth, bro. Go ahead. Oh, hell nah. Like, I'm on my own.
You think Charlamagne won't talk about Diddy?
Nobody will talk about it. Listen, I called Joe. Joe said, Ack, you ain't on with this one, man. I'll catch you on the next scandal. I'm like, what? What the fuck? He's
really?
Yeah.
So, and explain the influence of Diddy, because I'm seeing people dropping him left and right.
Glennis, I don't know what they might be.
Diddy, Aaliyah?
I don't know.
Why you put Aaliyah on? Why is she involved?
I thought it was like a faulty plane, but you never know. You blew up a car, you never know. I don't know.
Charlamagne Tha God didn't hold back when he unleashed on Diddy after explosive audio leaked from a conversation between Jay-Z and Diddy. Known for his unfiltered takes and fearless approach to calling out industry drama, Charlamagne used his platform on The Breakfast Club to shine a spotlight on Diddy's shady dealings and set the record straight. In his signature style, Charlamagne delivered a scathing takedown, pulling no punches as he exposed the truth behind the music mogul's controversial actions.
Charlamagne, it's a couple of totally different stories. One is what's happening with P. Diddy. His former security guard, Roger Bonds, came on my show last week, said he'd seen Diddy violent with multiple women. A lot more allegations coming out all the time about it. What do you make of what is happening with Diddy?
The same thing I make of, what's happening with anybody. If you got to deal with the consequences of your action. Period. You can't run from yourself. I tell people that all the time, man. Like, I'm a big proponent of mental health. And the reason I'm a big proponent of mental health and people doing the work on themselves is because a lot of people are dealing with a lot of unhealed trauma. They're dealing with a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. And they end up projecting that pain and that hurt onto other people. And, that's what I think has been happening with him over the years. I don't know him personally. I know him from interviewing him. Of course, I've had conversations with him, but I've never hung out with hhim. I've never been to a Diddy party. Catch up with you. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. I think we're seeing a lot of his BS catching up with him. You can't even hide. Like you just the same way, Trump was trying to hide things. P. Diddy was trying to hide things too by suppressing that tape. So you can't run from yourself, Piz. You got to deal with the consequences of your actions. So, whatever happens to him, as far as, legal ramifications are concerned, or, jail time, he has to deal with that. But what I would tell people is don't forget what the issue is. Because a lot of times we do that here in America. We get so caught up in the celebrity that we forget what the actual issue is. And the issue in this situation is domestic violence. The issue in this situation is the patriarchy. Because as long as you have, men, especially powerful men, thinking that women are their property, and they can do whatever to them. You're going to see situations like, the Diddy Cassie tape. And like I said, men not dealing with their unhealed trauma, men not dealing with their pain, men not dealing with their hurt and projecting it onto, people around them. Those are the three issues that I think we really should be focused on, because long after we not talking about this P. Diddy and Cassie situation anymore, there's still going to be women all around the world, dealing with men like that. So how do we get to the root of the issue? I think we only get to the root of the issue by talking about the actual issue and not the individual.
Charlamagne Tha God didn't just stop at addressing the leaked audio. He went much deeper, exposing patterns in Diddy's behavior that many have been too afraid to confront. From questionable business practices to the alleged mistreatment of his artists and associates, Charlamagne pulled no punches. He connected the dots, revealing how Diddy's strategic moves might make him appear powerful, but they also leave behind a trail of burnt bridges and exploited relationships. In his bold and unflinching style, Charlamagne laid bare the darker side of Diddy's empire, sparking a conversation that the industry could no longer ignore.
Tony Ayo, someone who we brought on Vlad TV for the first time in like a decade, you've seen him really get out there and tell his personality and everything else like that. You had him on The Breakfast Club, which I'm sure was, somewhat of a result of his Vlad TV interviews.
Absolutely.
And now Tony Ayo is doing his first ever solo show in New York at Sony Hall for the first time in his life because of, the push that we gave him and then you followed up on, and suddenly he's doing his own tours and so forth. Like, I love to see it. I love to see it.
Absolutely. I mean, think about, that's like even something like Versus, even though it's not considered hip hop media, that's powerful because these people get on Versus and then their streams go up. And then, they get booked for tours. Cause all you're showing is that, that person still has an audience, and we live in an industry where people, man, they really not even going to check for you unless they see that you still got some heat, unless you still got some steam behind you. And I think that's what a lot of these, platforms end up showing folks like, oh no, that person, there's definitely still an audience for said individual. So, that's literally my only thoughts on that list. Like, what is power? Because power just can't be noise, man. I've made a lot of noise, but there's a difference between noise and having actual influence and power. There's people that'll, they'll bring people on Breakfast Club because Breakfast Club helps to sell books. Breakfast Club can help your podcast numbers jump. Breakfast Club can, have people tune into your TV show. Breakfast Club can have people go out and vote for you. Breakfast Club can have people pull up to your, movie, that first weekend when those box office numbers really count. I never forget, Diddy yelling and screaming at me. This is before I even recognized truly, the power that the platform was commanding. This is when he dropped the Last Train to Paris album. And I gave him Donkey of the Day for that album, right? I'm like, this shit is shake weight music. You know what I mean? Once again, being an asshole, because people love that album, right? But I'm just fucking with him. And he came to the station hot, like go out the back door, Charlamagne type shit. And I remember when I finally had a conversation with Diddy about it, asked Sean Prez about it. Sean Prez put us on the phone. And Diddy was like, bro, you can't do that on my first week. He said, I'm a big boy. I can take criticism of the music, but not on my first week when I'm trying to get these first week numbers up. You come out and you shit on my project like this, people might not even go check for the project. And that was one of the first times.
Diddy's old school methods of controlling narratives and manipulating situations behind the scenes are starting to backfire. With the leaked audio now exposed, Charlamagne Tha God is making sure the world sees Diddy for who he truly is, a man whose empire might be built on shaky foundations. As the dust settles, Charlamagne's revelations underscore how Diddy's carefully crafted image is increasingly at odds with the reality of his questionable practices and unstable relationships.
The issues, like they care about the individual. Yeah. Like people got mad at me last week. I didn't realize they got mad at me for some brilliant idiot shit I said months ago when we were talking about Diddy.
Wow.
And I was just saying how, like, when I see situations like this, it's sad, right? Like I did Dan Abrams' show, and he played the clip from Idiots, right? But he played it without the context. So the context was, it's sad to see another person, ruin their life based off poor choices. Yeah. Right? It's sad to see when these people crash and burn just because they've made alleged poor choices. At the time I said alleged poor choices. Yeah. Right? So when somebody asked me about Diddy, it was on The View. They asked me about Diddy, and I go, I think we need to focus on the issue, not the individual. Because what happens a lot of times in these situations, we get so caught up in the celebrity of it all that we don't ever take the time to talk about what's the real core issue here. To me, it's domestic violence. It's these men that need to go do the work on themselves because they're dealing with all this hurt and this pain and this unhealed trauma, and they're projecting that on the other women. And it's the patriarchy. Because you got a guy like a Diddy who's in a position of power who probably don't look at any woman as an equal or
it's a sociopathic, power-hungry narcissist.
But that's still all mental health related. That's still all something that you need to go
be
get
crazy
checked.
People. Yes.
So my point is, we don't ever talk about the issue. Now it's Diddy's music is banned from Peloton, and Diddy's eyeglasses are taken out. Who gives a fuck? Whatever happens to him as an individual, he's got to deal with the consequences of his actions. But the issue is still going to be going on.
That's interesting.
As I'm talking right now, somebody's getting their ass kicked. Some woman's getting their ass kicked right now. Nobody's even paying her no attention.
And then we move on once we see justice is served for the individual.
That's right.
We act as if the issue is taken care of.
That's
when
right.
in reality, it's not taken care of
at all.
At all. But our our passivity comes in because we feel satisfied because we never cared about the issue. I've never cared as strong, but like we cared more about the fact that this famous person we saw our whole lives is involved in this fucking thing.
Pound of flesh. Now, I largely agree with you. Could you make the argument that there is still some benefit in seeing, we're going to make an example out of this guy. You're going to take this guy who was a demigod of sorts, like so powerful, and he's going to be stripped to nothing. And these are the consequences of those actions.
Yes, but you have to put the lesson in it, right? Like we can't have these small conversations about Diddy and what it means to his legacy, whatever. We have to say, this is what happens to your legacy when you do bullshit behavior like this. Yeah. Like I don't think we ever have those discussions when it comes to celebrity. Yeah. Like all we see is all of these guys get canceled, all of these guys
100%
go to prison, as they should. But then what?
R. Kelly, same exact thing.
Nobody's
talking about human trafficking. Nobody's talking about what's happening to these.
Nothing.
He pees on people.
That's it. Yeah. Which is hilarious.
Yeah. What's the lesson with Diddy? It's like, oh, he's gay.
He's gay. But it's not.
We don't know that yet.
Fair.
That is the other. What we know about Diddy is he absolutely puts his hands on women. We've seen that.
I think that part's worse
than him being gay. I don't know, dude.
No, you're right. It depends how he's getting his butt. Because he could be
non-consensual.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he could be non-consensual.
Exactly. I think we do know he's gay though from that video.
Bro, there's one story that came out of all this.
Don't jump away.
He did fight with flowers.
We do know that he's gay from that video.
Why? Because the way he was holding his towel?
No.
What?
Was it tied
the
on
socks?
I didn't notice the socks.
You didn't see the socks in the video?
No. I really couldn't. I didn't watch the video.
The things y'all pay attention to in a goddamn
once I saw him pull her down and kick, I'm like, that's enough.
I didn't watch that part. I just watched the socks. I watched him like Joker walking through the hallway and his pink fuchsia socks.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy's definitely gay. That was what I thought. Stupid. That was the first thing I thought.
I didn't know they were pink.
Do you want to let him get back to his story? That's probably a little more entertaining than...
No, there was this one story. It was this guy on this podcast, man, and I probably should. Oh wow!
See what I'm saying? He put on her socks.
Why would he do that?
Because it's a power thing.
It's grippy.
By the way,
it's grippy, bro.
Drugs like a motherfucker.
Yes,
gotta be.
That's clear.
And she said he was intoxicated and shit, but you are Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
And you're in the Intercontinental Hotel and you run out in a towel. This was 2016 or 18?
Yeah.
This guy was 46 years old. Yeah. You're a multi, you might have been a billionaire by
I don't chalk it up to, like, no drug makes you beat a woman.
No.
You beat women and then you're on drugs.
I agree with that.
And then you do it.
Like, it's not only drugs.
Yeah, it's not only, I'm not saying it's not only drugs, but this isn't regular behavior, bro. Like I
think it's regular.
You're running in a hotel with a towel on.
I agree with him. I think it's regular for him. I think he's such a fucking monster. The amount of times you got to hit your girl to not give a fuck that you're in public.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But I think that he's just such a power hungry person that I think he feels invincible when he has the power, and these types of things unfortunately make him feel invincible.
Yeah. Top or bottom?
What?
Top or bottom?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Power bottom.
I think honestly, I think it's top, and I don't even think it's a gay thing. Mm-hmm. I think everything about his life is power and how he can exert power on people. I think that's why watching people fuck someone is power. It's like, I'm going to make you do this thing you don't even want to do, and I'm going to watch and enjoy it.
That's why he loves the Joker.
He wants to be the fucking Joker, this agent of chaos.
I think it's both, bro.
You think he's a power bottom?
Centipede.
So it's like dick, then
he's in somebody in him is fucking Sam.
Eiffel Tower.
Can I ask you a related question? Jay-Z.
Oh, stop it.
If I'm hearing smoke, I've been hearing smoke about Diddy. That's why I believe the Cassie shit right away, because we've all heard things about Diddy for a long time.
We never heard this shit.
I heard. We used to always make a joke. I've heard the joke. Cassie's a hostage. You hear little whispers.
Yeah, but we heard that. We said that about Tom Cruise too with Katie Holmes. I didn't think that. I didn't think I was going to ever see a video like this.
I heard abuse whispers. So really? I was thinking,
I heard gay. I'd never heard porn.
I always heard gay.
Gay nonstop, and that was enough. People were like,
"That's because of Wendy Williams."
What'd you say?
Oh, that was Wendy. Wendy's whole thing was Diddy was gay since the 90s.
She knew, dog.
No, Wendy was throwing that out there. Apology. That's why Wendy got fired from Hot 97. Wendy got fired from Hot 97 by Diddy, because that's when Bad Boy was smoking hot.
Wow.
And yeah, she got fired for putting that out there. Like,
do you think that Diddy held on to the gay rumors so that people didn't know what he really was?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because that's the perfect smokescreen. You'd rather people think you're gay than beat women.
and by the way, here's the wild thing: we still don't know what Diddy is.
I mean, we
That's
know
the thing.
little.
We know little. We know bits and pieces.
Yeah.
This shit might be deeper than rap. We don't know. Like, this
The
might be
rabbit
a
hole's gonna
whole
get
rabbit
crazy.
hole. You might be like, oh shit.
But seeing this video.
That's what I was trying to get at this whole time.
His revelations are not just about one man's misdeeds, but also a call to reevaluate the systems that have enabled such behavior to persist.